What's up?
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night. You don't know what it is.
Wherever you are.
Wherever you are, for us, it's good afternoon.
It is.
At our undisclosed subterranean location, meant specifically for filming Dave and Jason versus. Today's episode, I'm excited about it. We get to go into the future. Welcome to the world of tomorrow.
Futurama.
Today's episode is Futurama, brought to you by the obligatory 30-year-old Captain America shirt that every guy my age wears. We've all got one. Do you have a Captain America shirt?
I do, yeah.
I
have a basketball jersey.
But it's got this logo on it?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody our age has this type of shirt. I don't hate it, though. I love it. So, we've got a couple things to do, of course. We've got the ever popular taste test is happening today.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a one-man taste test today.
Okay.
Because I found something. I was helping my girlfriend. School started. Classes are starting. I'm back in school. My girlfriend's back in school now. We got her moved back into the dorms. Mm-hmm. And in moving her in, I found something, and I want to eat it.
Did you bring it?
I brought it.
Oh, you brought it.
I'm gonna get it out now. We won't make it a surprise.
Okay.
But we will save it for later.
Okay, fair enough.
But I saw it and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna keep that. And then I was getting ready for the show today, and I was like, that's the taste test right there. I have for you, all the way from, I don't know, what year would that be? 2000 and let's say 2. I don't think it's this old, this piece of cake. But it is an apple warhead.
Ooh.
The sweetest candy in the world.
I haven't seen one of those
Only
in
after it's the sourest candy.
Yes.
In the world.
True.
So I'm going to take this live here on the podcast or the Ustream today at some point. And I'll make some faces and it'll be fun. But remember Warheads?
Oh, I remember them quite well. Yeah, I mean, one of them made me blow chunks when I was younger.
Really?
Oh yeah, like I was one of crazy one. I think one of my friends gave it to me. He's like, "Here, try this." I was like, "Eh," and it was not pleasant.
When you're younger, and somebody says, "Hey, try this," you usually say, "Okay." That's how it is.
Kind of like how this show came about.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we should definitely start off.
I'm getting the notes up here.
By I'll start off with a discovery I had recently.
Okay. What's
for
your discovery?
Futurama. It's called Morbotron.
Okay.
And if Morbo was one of the characters in.
Right, it's the newscaster.
I will destroy you!
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Big green head.
Right.
And they have a thing called Morbotron.com, I believe is what it is.
Okay.
And that is where I actually made the Hypnotoad logo for us, where I had the Hypnotoad doing its thing.
Right.
So you can make memes, and it will randomly pick.
Oh, it's a website.
It's a website. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it an app on your phone?
It's not an app that I know of.
Not an app yet. We're going to give them free advertising. Send us free stuff, morbotron.com, or whatever it's called.
Let's see. I'm going to pull it up right now. But you can go through and push random, or you can search for specific scenes, and it'll let you create memes or actual GIFs with words and stuff on it. So
or
from
GIFs,
the show. Yep.
if you're on this side. So it's a website that you can make memes and stuff, only with Futurama references, though.
Yeah, so I push random.
Random.
Boom.
What do we get? Oh, yeah.
You got Hermes Conrad.
My sandwich! Okay. So, we're diving into it.
Yeah.
If you guys have thoughts on future episodes or comments about this episode, daveandjasonversus@gmail.com. Brand new. It's up. It's live. It's taking emails as fast as it can go. We're trying to answer them as fast as we get them.
Mm-hmm.
Got one from Andy already today. And so please, daveandjasonversus@gmail.com. Any questions, any comments, any suggestions for future episodes? So yeah, I just wanted to get that out because I was in charge of making that today before the show. So I wanted to pump that up. So all right.
Pumped. So, do we want to start with questions, or do we want to start with favorite episodes?
I think we could start the groundwork with favorite episodes first.
Which is a very, very hard area to choose from, because Futurama is the perfect blend of not only sci-fi, drama, and comedy. It's just a satire on sci-fi in general, so it's just brilliant. The first one that comes to my mind that I always enjoy
Your
was
favorite.
Fry and the Slurm Factory.
Yeah.
It's, I think, because it seems like every cartoon has always done like a parody of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I mean,
Right.
Family Guy did one.
They did.
Which was funny.
It was funny.
But
Cheech Marin was in it.
Yes, yep. Cheech Marin, everybody. And it was just really well written. I feel like this one was like the better of the parodies I've seen, just because they just went with the ridiculousness of what's going on, and making fun of the Oompa Loompas was really funny.
It was brilliant.
The line that always makes my wife laugh hysterically is Bender. They're going down the river of Slurm, and it's really well written. I feel like this one was like the better of the parodies. So we are live.
We're
just because they just went with the
live right now.
Of what's going on. He's checking it. It's not cutting off, is it? Making fun. You might have to move. There you go.
There we go.
Cool.
Yep.
He's making fun of the Oompa Loompas. And, well, the Oompa Loompas or what they call them in there. They weren't Oompa
in the
Loompas.
Futurama episode?
Yeah, they were
Chumbawambas.
Chumbawambas, yes. The Chumbawambas.
Chumbawambas.
And they were singing the song, and Bender was like, all right, we get it already. And then they continue singing it, and he's like, shut the hell up! And that scene alone just makes my wife crack up every time. I don't know why, but it is. It just does. And just the whole thing where they go in, spoiler alert for those who have not seen.
It's like, I think that episode's probably now a good 8, 9, 10 years old. So
I know.
If you haven't seen it yet,
it's your fault.
It's your own fault. It's on Netflix. Netflix is almost free. Not really, but
it's almost. Almost free. But anyway, because I know there's going to be some person out there being like, I hadn't seen that yet. Well, that's your fault. So, what they do in it is they actually discover the secret of what's in Slurm. And it, as I think Leela put it, or I think it was Leela, said it comes out of a colossal worm hiney.
It is a worm butt.
Yes. And there's the part that's really funny, that makes me laugh, is the part where they're going to dunk Leela into the Slurm.
To make her the new queen. Right.
But the one guy's like, but I can't do the voice, but Queen, her Slurm will be nasty because she's not a pure...
Yes.
And I can't do that. It was a terrible impression of what they sound like. They're real nasally.
But Your Majesty, her slurm will be nasty and not as delicious.
And then they take a shot at the whole Coca-Cola
thing. They do take a shot.
So,
this is a very good... I like this reference. It's very on the nose.
Yes.
It's very much what Coke did.
We'll release new Slurm.
New Slurm.
And then people will not like it, and then we'll release the original Slurm and call it Slurm Classic.
Slurm Classic.
Totally taking a shot at the whole Coca-Cola thing from back in the day.
If you don't know what that's about, kids, search New Coke. Bill Cosby endorsed it. It was fine back then. Even though, maybe not. If you drink New Coke, endorsed by Bill Cosby, you might wake up a couple hours later and have no idea what happened. But that's neither here nor there, and that is not what this podcast is about. This is not David. This is not David and Jason versus the legal system. This is David and Jason versus Futurama. So back to Fly in the Slurm Factory.
Yes. So she's gonna get dunked into the Slurm to be turned into the new queen, and Bender's gonna get turned into a bunch of Slurm cans. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, Fry's waiting for his punishment, and she basically makes super concentrated Slurm directly from her bottom, and puts it in front of him, and they force feed him it, and he's like addicted to it, and everybody's getting ready to, Leel's getting ready to go into the Slurm, and Bender's going down the conveyor belt, getting ready to be made into cans, and he's like, I love it. He keeps on trying to go toward them. Fry does, and he can't do it because he wants to eat a Slurm. He keeps stuck his head into it.
It's so addictive.
And then he finally says, I love the Slurm, but I'm not going to let you die. And he starts just dragging this huge, like, I guess it was like a bathtub, trough
or a manger almost.
full of just of slurm. And then he's trying to do it, and I love it when Bender's like, I can't see what's going on. Are we boned? And Leela's like, yeah, we're boned.
I can't see what's going on, but real quick, are we boned?
Yeah.
That's his thing. I love it.
And then after he saves them, Leela dumps it all out into like a grate to get it out of the way. And Fry's trying to reach for the slurm. And he's like, I could get to it if I didn't have these damn arms. And
he starts
gnawing on his arms and everything. Yeah, it was great. And then they had the whole thing with Slurms McKenzie, who was
he couldn't stop partying.
Yeah, he had the party. They're like, when are we gonna party with Slurms McKenzie? He's like, right on. But that's what we pay him for.
Woo! Party!
I'm gonna go lie down.
I'm gonna go lie down
for a while.
I don't think I can do this anymore.
Yeah, and so that's just one of my favorites. And there's another one too. I'll let you do your thing.
While we're on this episode, while we're
Yes,
talking about this,
yes.
straight from the annals of the internet, we have. I'm going to read it live. This is a live reading of the ingredients to make your own slurm.
Ooh.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
We should have made that.
We should have made that. It would be a lot easier than finding ecto coolers. Thanks again, Hy-Vee. Anyway, we need 12 tablespoons. This makes 6 servings.
6 servings.
So if these seem like a lot, that's 12 tablespoons of sugar, 12 tablespoons of fresh lime juice, 24 teaspoons of fresh ginger juice, 2 quarts of sparkling water, natural green food coloring, 6 clear twist-off bottles, of course. Stir sugar, lime juice, ginger juice together, mix well until sugar is dissolved, add the sparkling water, add the food coloring, pour into empty twist-off bottles, bada bing, bada boom.
Are you sure that's the one for Slurm or is that Surge?
Slurm.
Okay.
And I've got a recipe for Bachelor Chow. Bachelor Chow, if you don't know, is the I'm trying to think of the word for it.
Chow bachelor's eat?
It's the food that but it's like the it's like a generic food almost, like Spam or it's almost like dog food for guys. And as a
I want a shirt that says that.
Dog food for Bachelor Chow dog food. Because he comes in, pours it out of a giant bag, puts some water in it, stirs it around, makes its own gravy.
I forgot about that.
And so Bachelor Chow is 1 box of cereal, your choice, whatever you prefer. Powdered sugar, ½ cup peanut butter, ½ cup of regular butter, 1 cup of chocolate chips, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, and 1 doggy bowl. Mix all those together, obviously, and you've got your very own.
And you have to be in your underwear.
You have to be in your underwear, preferably where you work. But moving on, what was? It was where he was living. It was like the second.
Yeah, he was living there still. Yeah, before he went to the robot apartment with Bender.
Right.
Yeah.
Which Bender's apartment number translates out to a $sign.
Oh,
it's binary, and then
I
to
did not
ASCII
know that.
keys, it makes $sign.
I did not know that.
Little thing on Bender there, but
I have learned something.
Bringing you Futurama tips you did not know. What was go back to the second episode that was your favorite though?
Oh gosh, the other episode was so there was Fry in the Slurm Factory. What was the other one? The other one had gosh, they're all so jumbled together. Oh, the one where is how Hermes requisitioned his groove back.
That is my 3rd favorite
That
episode,
is
so I'm glad you brought that one up.
hilarious.
I'm glad you brought that one up.
I literally I'll get to the part where I fell down laughing because I was crying because of the first time I watched it. But we'll just go into it. We'll just talk about it. So the whole thing is that Hermes he messed up on something, right, when he was doing his.
Well, it was he had an inspection coming.
That's right.
Leela had the poker game with all her former friends from the cryogenic factory because she was originally an employee of the cryogenic factory. Poker game. Bender was cheating. They take him into Hermes' office and teach him a lesson off camera. You don't see any of that.
That's right. His office
office is destroyed, and then Morgan, the bureaucrat, comes in and is very mad.
And so he gets relieved of duty.
Yes.
And she takes over. And she's going through everything and like trying to inspect everybody, and she opens Fry's locker, right?
Right.
And it's just this awful, like like I'm talking like my middle school locker awful.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And let's face it, all our middle school lockers were terrible.
Gross.
Right?
They smell bad.
You know. Strange fact off topic. I autographed every single locker I had through middle school through high school.
One day, kids, if you're going through the mean streets, where'd you grow up?
Willow Springs.
The where?
Willow Springs.
Willow
Missouri.
Springs?
Willow Springs.
I knew you went to West Plains something or other. Okay.
I'm close to West Plains. Yeah.
Listen up, kids. If you're walking around the mean streets of Willow Springs, Missouri, and you're going to school at
Willow Springs High School.
Willow Springs High School, and you open up a locker and it's got Jason Brazier autographed, tattooed,
And I always did
autographed
it.
inside the locker, then you, my friends, have a piece of history.
Yes. And I autographed it on the bottom because they always would go through and try to wipe them off. On the
So if
inside.
you go, you got to look up.
It's like under the, I always did underneath it so they wouldn't.
So the ceiling of the locker.
Yeah. Or like the top little shelf that was right there.
Right,
I
okay,
do
sure.
them on there. Anyway, sorry to circle back to that. We're talking about lockers. But Fry's locker is abysmal. It is got stuff crawling out of it, oozing out of it.
That's right.
I think she even pulled out a hat that used
There
to
was
be
a hat, milk,
He goes,
cottage cheese.
that used to be milk, I think.
And then
she
he real quick, he says my favorite line of quite possibly the whole series.
Mm-hmm.
I say it all the time. May it be at work, at home. If I need something witty to say, it's a go-to. She brings out the cap. It's got cottage cheese in it. He's like, well, that was milk, but time makes fools of us all.
Yes.
And I'm telling you. But time makes fools of us all, folks. So
Yes. That was a brilliant line. Well, and then what ends up happening is she's actually turned on by him.
she loves it.
Because she's never seen something disgusting.
Dirty
like
boy.
that.
He's a dirty boy.
She even kept on saying that, and it's so funny.
It is a good episode.
Because he's just like, "What are you doing?" She goes, "You're so filthy," and then later on, doesn't Bender catch? But Bender catches him.
Bender catches him.
Yeah.
He gets into a loop. I was blind, but now I see.
Yeah. And then it cuts to the next scene. He's still doing it. The
Right.
next scene, he's still doing
It's
it.
like, Morgan, hold up. He's in a loop.
And then he's like, "Brr."
Yeah. Because she takes his central processing.
Yes. I am Bender. Please insert girder.
What does she say? His memories, his attitude, his in-your-face interface.
Yeah. and then Fry's like, "Stop! Don't do that! Why you do things? Why you not
Yes.
listen?" And then she makes it go to central processing.
Central processing, and then the whole rest of the episode, we know, winds up in central processing finally.
Yes. The funniest thing, though, that made me laugh was when Hermes came back and he was doing
He
everything.
was sorting the master sort.
And whenever they were singing this song, everybody was going along, and then the first time I watched the episode, I literally cried. I thought it was so funny because it was just the timing and good comedy's about timing.
Right.
And they were doing this thing, and they cut to Bender like, "I am Bender, please."
Timing. Oh,
girder."
sorry, I missed it. Oh, go on. What did
That's
you say?
okay. It's okay. And it cuts to Bender in the middle of the song, and he says, "I am Bender, please
Right.
insert girder." I lost it. I don't know why. It was just the timing of it in the song. I was expecting something, and they just cut right to it, and I just lost it. That was great. That was a good one.
Also in that song, everybody say Jamaica, Jamaica. Just the grade 19s, I think she is.
Yes.
And she's the only grade 19. I believe it's 19, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes. I think so.
Everybody say Jamaica, Jamaica. Just the grade 19s. Jamaica.
yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, they were all looking at her. She's all just standing there, all ticked off at her.
She's like, I'm going to do it, but it's only because I have to do it.
Yeah,
Jamaica.
Yeah.
Jamaica.
And then what else was there? There was there's so many great episodes.
The one, I believe it's right after that one, is the Deep, Deep South. Where they
that was
go
hilarious, too. That was pretty funny.
Old Atlanta. Hail Atlanta.
They're all mermaids.
That's a good
yeah.
one. It's a great one.
The one I was thinking about was early on, though, when it was in the first or second episode where they went to the moon.
Yeah.
And
I just watched that one the other day in preparation for this episode.
The part that makes me still laugh every time I watch that episode is whenever they're on the moon and they're going around and they end up at the farm.
Right.
Because I think Bender's running from something. And
Bender may or may not have had relations with the farmer's big daughter.
That was the thing that made me laugh, was that whenever he goes, "This here is such and such, this here is Daisy Bell, and this one is the Crushinator." And it's like this huge thing, and it rolls out there and goes, "Hello," and then
hello, boys.
And then the thing that makes me laugh is Fry. He goes, "Ooh." That's all he does. He just goes, he's just like, "Whoa," and he just loses. I lost it. I love that because it was just again
Just
timing.
Yeah, timing. Good timing.
It was just, yeah.
Speaking of Fry, before we get to my two favorite episodes, something that I know about. I don't know if you know about it. I don't know if you at home know about this or not. But one thing that I love about Fry is the voice actor Billy West. Two to three things that I love about Billy West. I'm gonna bring those up here before I get into my favorite episodes. I always like to think of myself as a Fry. I've got the red hair. If you've ever seen the episode where Bender becomes real, I believe
that is hilarious. Yes, it was
Anthology of Interest Part 2.
Yes.
This guy looks just like him when he becomes a human. So are we the modern day Fry and Bender? Yeah.
Bite my shiny metal ass.
Exactly. So one of my favorite things, Billy West, he also played the voice of Doug. Remember Doug the cartoon?
Oh, yeah, I did not realize that was
him. He played the voice of Doug.
I knew he did a lot. I didn't know it was Doug. Okay, cool.
He did Futurama. He did Futurama. And
well, on Futurama, he does like 5 voices.
He does do 5 voices.
Yeah.
That was going to be one of the things I bring up.
Okay, well.
He does Fry. Professor Farnsworth. Zoidberg. Zap Brannigan. And
who's the 5th one?
I think there's a couple more that he does just on the side. But did you know, and this is what I'm getting to for the viewers at home, that he does, if say Fry and the professor are having a conversation together, he will have that conversation with himself in the booth.
Yep.
He doesn't do all of Fry's lines and then all of the professor's lines like I know some voice actors do.
Yeah.
Do you ever watch the Venture Brothers? If there's any Venture Brothers fans out there, those guys do all the voices for one character at one time, and then for this other character this time. Because their voices, I've heard them talk about commentary, which if you guys like the Venture Brothers, the commentary, the two guys that make that show are great on commentary. Check them out. Also, don't forget, daveandjasonversus@gmail.com. daveandjasonversus@gmail.com. Send us your emails if you have any questions, comments. We would love to hear them. daveandjasonversus@gmail.com. So yeah, he will, and like I said, other voice actors will do all the voices, all the lines for one character, all the lines for the. But Billy West and other people on Futurama will do all the characters once, and then the other characters another time. He will sit there and pretty much have a conversation with himself. If you've never seen this guy do his work before, his art is beautiful.
Just look him up on YouTube.
Billy West, and just watch him do his thing, and he is a living cartoon. He's genius. I love Billy West. We will have him on this show one day. Mark our words. It'll be Dave and Jason versus Billy West, because it will really be trying to rein that guy in.
What would be really great is if we get John DiMaggio.
John DiMaggio.
He does Bender, and I love that guy.
He does. That's the thing. He loves Bender.
I do.
I've got
He's got my toy over there. Yeah.
My profile picture on Facebook for a long time was Fry. There's definitely correlations.
Yes, there is.
But yeah, no doubt. John DiMaggio also plays the voice of Jake the dog in Adventure Time.
Yes.
And he played the voice of Joker in Batman Under the Red Hood.
Yep.
Yeah, John DiMaggio.
Yeah.
Send us free Bender stuff, John DiMaggio.
Side note, I think it's still on Netflix, but there's a documentary that he produced called Do You recognize that voice? Or
I know what you're talking about.
It's something like that.
It's on Netflix though.
And it's just basically about all they do with voice acting. And one of the main things they talk about is that people are like, "Hey, come to play. Hey, I want to voice act. I can do a voice." Well, people don't realize that it's more than just doing a voice. You actually are still acting.
It's voice acting.
It's not like you come up and just do Donald Duck.
Right. Because a lot of people can do that silly Donald Duck voice.
Yeah. But
do a show with that voice.
Exactly. Especially if you're there all day.
Well, let's get to my two favorite. Well, let's just get to just a couple of points on my favorite episodes, and then we will move on. We've got some other notes here. My first and foremost, I've got 2.
Okay. And
one of them is another part of Anthology of Interest Part 2.
Okay.
Because there's the Bender part, and then there's the part where if video games were real.
Yes.
I
Is that
love
the one
that episode.
when they were like, that was the, was that it?
That was not the one where they were in a video game.
Okay, that's right. Okay.
That's
another one.
That's Rebirth, I believe.
Rebirth, yes.
This is Anthology of Interest Part 2, where There's Colonel Pac-Man or General Pac-Man.
Yes. Oh, yes. That is hilarious. Which if we want to say Pixel is totally.
Oh, Pixel stole from Futurama Anthology Adventures Part 2 all day because
Yeah.
other than Pac-Man being a good guy in the Futurama episode and not necessarily being in the movie Pixels, nothing against Adam Sandler.
But I guess there is the thing too that there was the guy who made a short film on YouTube called Pixels. It's what it's based off of.
Is it?
Yeah, but anyway, still anyway.
What was that film based off of?
We digress. It's all good.
Everything's
anyway, back to this.
So I enjoy that episode because my favorite part of that episode, or that one part of that episode, the other two I don't even remember what the other two are. But it's the Nintendo and 64s or something, whatever they're called, coming to invade. Fry has to win the day because he is of course, a great video game player because he was raised in the 60s, 70s, 80s.
Yes.
I would imagine probably just like the late 70s, early 80s.
Yes.
Because he's probably about 22, 23.
Yeah, well.
In 1999.
In 1999, yes.
So, great. And then it's like he was built for this. He was born for this. And then he says...
Does he have a part that says, give me my mixtape or something?
He says, it's Saturday night. I've got my Rush mixtape and a bottle of Shasta.
Let's do it.
And then they play Tom Sawyer for a while. And then it's great. It's a wonderful deal because I think that's hilarious. I've been there. I don't know if you've ever been there where you got nothing else to do, but you got a bunch of junk food, a video game, and that you've played 1,000 times, and you just go in and handle.
Every Saturday night.
Maybe not every Saturday night because, I was fairly cool.
Once a week, maybe.
Yeah. I still have my video game days. Now that we're older and wearing our obligatory Captain America shirts because we're old.
I've got a Game of Thrones shirt on underneath this.
Do you really? What does it say? Winter is coming?
Yeah, it's the...
Of course it says winter is coming.
It's the Stark one.
It is the Stark one.
Yeah.
Well, now that we're repping all over the place.
Anyway, back to Futurama.
So that's my first episode that I think is my favorite. Second episode, which is a full episode, which I think is probably going to be up there more because it's an actual full episode. Bending in the Wind.
Oh, yes, where he becomes paralyzed.
Bender gets caught in a can opener. Cuts him open. He's paralyzed. He meets Beck. For some reason, in 3009, whenever this episode takes place, Beck is not only still relevant.
Relative?
Relative.
Relevant. I think it's relevant.
Relevant. He's relevant. Not only is he relevant in 3009.
Yes.
But he just so happens to be just his head because he's a head in a jar.
Yes.
Which again, the Beastie Boys was also amazing.
Yes.
Musicians in jars on Futurama. You know that the show is in good hands when that's the kind of caliber of guest stars they get. Anyway, Beck is in there. He meets Beck. Bender and Beck. World tour. Yep. That's a great part of it. I know that's probably a lot of the reasons that he loves it, and a lot of people think that I'm a Bender fan because I like that episode. But let me tell you something, folks. Let me break it down for you a little bit. Don't you think you know me? Because you don't know me. I'm just kidding. You guys know you know me and love me. It's because Fry finds a Volkswagen bus.
And they follow.
And it's orange and it's beautiful. And I'm a big Volkswagen fan.
And then Zoidberg starts
coughing up blue pearls.
And so they start selling
those because all their money gets washed in with the laundry.
Yes.
With Zoidberg's shell, so everything's red tie-dye.
Yep.
And they just drive a Volkswagen bus across country following Beck, which again, I'm sure there's some people out there listening to this that have done that. Followed Beck on tour in a van.
If you have, email us.
Email us at daveandjasonversus@gmail.com. Where is it?
Dave and Jason versus at gmail.com.
At gmail.com.
I was getting ready to say something. You caught me off guard.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm just making sure you know the name of the email address, which you do. What were you going to say?
I don't know now because my brain stalled. That's okay though.
No, it's fine. It'll come. Either
back.
A, it wasn't that important, or B, it's coming back.
It probably wasn't that important.
But no, I love Volkswagen buses. I love that whole episode. They follow around. Another great episode we did talk about when Hermes requisitioned his group back, and also the Deep Deep South. Those are another of my favorites. And then I think another top 5 for me is 40% Leadbelly. And that is the episode where Bender becomes an official folk singer. He meets Silicon Red.
That's right.
He realizes his brand new dream of becoming a folk singer.
Mm-hmm.
He 3D prints. He gets connected to a 3D printer.
Mm-hmm.
Gets his guitar printed.
Mm-hmm.
And becomes a folk singer. Unbeknownst to him, he's still hooked up to set. Spoiler alert. Again, this episode is very old. You should have seen this one. He's still hooked up to the 3D printing machine. And everything that he writes in the song, in the episode, which is called The Ballad of Me Bending. The Ballad of Me Bending Bender Rodriguez, I think is what it's called.
Yes.
Comes true.
Yes.
So Big Caboose, he was a steel-driving son of a gun.
Yep.
A bad-watered woman he spied. All that stuff becomes real.
Mm-hmm.
And just the song itself, which you can find it on YouTube, everything cut out of it, and just the song itself. It's very fun to listen to a couple times. The song is brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
And it's triumphant, and it's fun, and it's Bender at his best. So yeah, I mean that's a heavy Bender episode.
Yeah. Now there's another good Bender episode. That's what is Leela heavy, but it's the wrestling one.
Oh, the
where he becomes part of the
right
professional robot fighting league.
Yep.
And he was sitting behind
the masked unit,
and he looked like a nerd. He's like,
the masked.
I challenge you to fisticuffs, and he's like, okay. And then he starts, and he goes, oh crap, I'm boned.
Yep.
And then something happens, and I think he slips on an oil slick and dies. And so everybody thinks that Bender did it. And so this one guy, Abner Doubleday, that's what his name, or Abner Doubledeal.
Abner Doubledeal,
yeah.
Yes.
I'm Abner Doubledeal. And then he brings him in to be part of the Robot Fighting League, and the Raging Bender is what they call him.
Yes.
And at one point, he's getting too big for his britches, as my grandpa would say. You're getting too big for your britches. And all his merchandise is not selling, and they're like, you're just, we need to make you go bad, and so they make him the Gender Bender.
Which would be in WWE or wrestling, and would be the heel turn.
Yes, the heel turn. Yeah, exactly.
You need to be a heel turn on that.
But he didn't want to do it, and they brought in the huge robot guy, and he's like, I will destroy you, and then Bender's like, I'll see you at the match or whatever, like a high pitched voice, and then you find out that the robot's trainer is like name is Snog or something like that, and it was actually somebody that trained Leela when she was younger, and he was like very sexist.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and
that little like fly.
Yeah, and like he was sitting there, and she beat the crap out of his top students, and he's like, he tells the two boys that got the crap beat out of them by a young Leela, you guys are good to go to your thing, and she's like, but Master Snog, I just beat the crap out of them. Yes, but you're a girl.
Right.
And so she ends up training Bender, and it's like, come on, Bender, I'm going to train you. And he's like, let me get my tutu.
That is a good one.
So that was a fun episode, the wrestling one. And then at the end of it, Leela gets her revenge, but Bender still loses. The robot falls on him and crushes him still in the end.
Yeah, because doesn't she hook herself up to the robot to fight? Or no. The little guy hooked himself up to the robot. Yeah, he was underneath
yeah. And it was really funny too, because she's looking for Snog, and you see over the corner, you see there's like a little satellite dish in the corner.
Like in everything, there's such a.
That was also the Brain Slug episode because Hermes had one. And then it was on Fry, and then later on they're all like, "Oh, look at this! It died, or how did it die? Wasn't that on Fry's head? Poor thing, starved itself to death."
Oh yeah, that's a joke as old as time.
Yeah, it is, but time makes fools of us.
Time makes fools of us all. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I think it's time for the show, the part of the show where I eat this incredibly sour thing. It looks like it might have melted at some point.
Yeah,
it's been in my pocket for a while.
Hold it up to the. Let them see that. There we go.
Okay, opening it up. See if I can even get it opened. Sticky. I hate being sticky. It's a personal thing. A bunch of kids jumped us when I was a kid and peeled oranges on our heads. That's why I hate being sticky. All right. I dropped
This
it.
be an episode.
This
Us versus
is-
bullies.
Us versus bullies. We do not tolerate bullying at all. Okay, here we go. And
That looks so nasty.
and she's open. This might be one that's been from 2002. All right. Here we go.
All right.
Now, my only fear, and it's not necessarily fear, it's a good thing. First of all, it's just sticking to my finger because it's melted. My biggest fear is that this will not be sour now. And because it has been in the wrapper, I bet you this packaging, if I were to lick this packaging, it would be sour. But I doubt this will be sour. But we're going to try it. And like I said...
Oh, here we go. You can read the warning label, too.
Oh, there's a warning label! I remember... Okay, so my first experience with Warheads was way earlier than 2002.
Yes.
We got them from Mike Greenwells. Now, if you don't know who Mike Greenwell is, he is a very famous baseball player who graduated high school from my alma mater, North Fort Myers High School, home of the Red Knights, down in Florida. And Mike Greenwell, being the nice homeboy that he is, decided to open up a family-themed park. Something kind of like what's it? Incredible Pizza.
Oh, okay.
Something like Incredible Pizza, but without the pizza and more fun things to do. Go-karts, a lot of go-kart tracks.
But more
mini
incredible.
golf, more incredible. Mike Greenwell's was awesome, and like you play games, you get your tickets, you get your prizes, you go. Got a bunch of these one day because they were like a quarter or like a bunch of tickets. So what does the warning label say?
Well, I can see part of it still.
I'm gonna pop this while you read it.
Short time period. It may cause a temporary irritation to sensitive tongues and mouths.
Still sour. Still super sour. Nothing has changed.
It's kind of like a Twinkie. I think it's gonna last way after the Holocaust.
Okay, but
All right, I'm gonna do something stupid here.
Do it.
So I'm gonna
Do
lick
it. Get up in there. Get up in there. Do it again.
Do it again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, but like I said,
Woo.
ooh, ooh. Okay, so like I predicted, and it's very rude to talk on a Ustream show with candy in your mouth. Most of the sour was gone. There was still a little bit on there,
But it was just enough to give the
but it was just enough to just give me that little bit of
kicking the
nostalgia, kicking the nuts that I needed.
yeah.
Next week, I say we get fresh ones, and we both do like 3 each.
Oh. All right.
Let's just push the envelope.
Challenge accepted.
We'll go Warhead heavy next week. So we know what the taste test will be. It won't be a surprise. We'll both do it.
So let's
And
just
we'll have fun with
randomly let's just pick a topic for next
Yeah, let's pick the topic for next week. If you have ideas for topics for the future, not next week because we're coming up with that right now live for you, the viewer. Dave and Jason versus DAVE and AND
JASON
VS versus just the VS at gmail.com.
Yep.
At gmail.com.
Yep.
That's the name of the show, Dave and Jason versus.
Yes.
So,
and we do want to tell you, too, that we will do some random broadcasts.
Yeah.
Not just like talk show format like we're doing here, but we will do some random shenanigans that we'll either do here on our Ustream channel, or we might do it on our Facebook Live.
I do it on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/
Dave and Jason versus.
Dave and Jason versus. So, facebook.com/ Dave and Jason versus. You can find me on the Twitter and the Instagram, Super Nerd Smith. You're on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter at.
I think each one's different, but
each one's different. So while he's looking those up, don't forget Dave and Jason versus at gmail.com. Twitter, Instagram, Super Nerd Smith. And I'll be making some local appearances.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll be out and about in town. My next one is Thursday at Toys R Us from 4 to 9:30. So if you're in Springfield, and if you're in Springfield and you're going to be at Toys R Us from 4 to 9:30, I'll be there. making a live appearance. I'll be wearing the T-shirt that they wear. I'll be like participating.
He'll
in
be
the
blending
events.
in.
I'll be blending in. They actually even are going to pay me. Okay, the joke's up. I work at Toys R Us, so I'll be there.
Sorry.
You should come see me.
That's brilliant. I love it. Okay. At Twitter, it's just at Jason Brazier. So
Twitter at Jason Brazier,
And
because
my-
his name is more original than Dave Smith. So,
But your name is not mispronounced like mine. I get called Brazier and everything like that. So
Brazia.
Instagram is Jason Brazier 34.
34, because that was your dad's number.
Basketball
in high school.
number.
Basketball number in high school?
Yep.
Willow Springs High?
Willow Springs.
Willow Springs. What's
Right.
the mascot?
Well, it's supposed to be a bear, but like for the early part of my childhood, it looked like a giant gerbil. Because they hadn't changed the mascot since like my dad was in high school.
Right. So an old like 60s
Rabid.
version of a bear.
Yeah.
Would look kind of gerbilish. I'm
Yeah, it's
sure.
like the Willow Springs Gerbils. Woo! All right. Then that was Instagram. Facebook, I think it should just be.
We've got our page on Facebook.
Yeah, we do. And yeah, just follow us there.
Next week,
Yes.
we'll be coming to you again live.
Yes.
This time, also from our undisclosed subterranean location.
But there will be times we'll surprise you. And
Like we
might
said,
just show up randomly.
We'll be out and about around town doing live events on the phone or on Facebook, on the Ustream. We've got that technology now. We can do that for you, just for you, because we love you guys. Our little warriors. We're all versus
Yes.
everything together.
Which we should also bring this up real quick before we move on. If anybody wants to take a shot at making a header for our Facebook page,
Yeah.
all we are really look have fun with it, but it has to say Dave and Jason versus, obviously. But we would like for like last night I was attempting to go on a South
Right.
Park character generator and
Right.
create
Right.
you and me in South Park form, looking at the logo across the logo, but with big battle axes in our hand and things like that. I just did not have as much luck because apparently South Park does not. At least the creator thing I was on did not have beards, so I could not do it. So, if you want to take a shot at that, make us look like Vikings.
Whatever. If
Whatever.
yours is the winning submission, then you get 2 tickets to the Mystery Hour, a backstage tour led by me and Jason. Get to meet the host of the show, Jeff Houghton. He is not aware of this being a prize, but I'll make sure that he's okay with it. So if you do want to, this will be archived on the page, right? We can show people this way.
It will.
So if you want,
I'm sure we'll be hearing from Jeff and Frank very soon.
let them try. What are they gonna say? I'm the announcer for the show.
He is.
I'm on it.
If you don't know it, check it out, Mystery Hour.
Mystery Hour, YouTube,
Emmy Award winning now.
Emmy Award winning.
And we got nominated again.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Sorry.
4-time Emmy nominated, Emmy Award winning, The Mystery Hour. Next episode, it's
Next Friday.
taping next Friday, September 2nd.
And
Be
we've
there.
got, what's his face from Mighty Ducks?
Mighty Ducks
and,
Heavyweights.
Yeah.
Younger kid star, still doing stuff. He's going to be on the show. I'm on that show. Jason is going to be behind the scenes at that
Yep.
show. We are going to try and do a live video from behind the scenes.
Yes.
This coming up September 2nd.
Until Jeff yells at us.
Until Jeff yells at us, because that is the goal, is to get Jeff to yell at us. We're going to be in there while he's getting makeup on. We're going to be in there while he's trying to change. Because I know all these things, and I know right where it all happens.
Oh, boy.
Only after we eat dinner, though, because it's provided.
Yeah, that's true.
It is.
It's true.
Okay, so don't miss the Mystery Hour. We'll be on there. It comes on every Saturday nights, Fox KRBK at 9.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Saturday. Did I say Saturdays? I said Saturdays,
I think
right?
it's Saturday.
We're filming Friday.
We're filming
so-
Friday, but Saturdays.
So that's our little plug for the Mystery Hour, which is the reason. I mean, this is kind of almost a Mystery Hour spin-off. I don't want to say that because then it doesn't feel as original.
Yeah.
But we met through the Mystery Hour.
Yes, we
so
did.
That's, the
Dave-
friendship is there.
Dave and I my camera's next to him, and then we just started
Yeah,
talking.
yeah. Where I sit, if you guys ever watch the show, I sit kind of stage right, and he runs stage right camera. So
I do.
we just kind of started talking, friends on Facebook. We have a lot of the same interests.
You saw my
And,
Batman Converse.
We're both straight, so that was about as far as it went. We both love our ladies, so we decided to start making a podcast together. After a lot of other things we wanted to do, we did a Nerf war that turned out well.
Yes, that's one episode we could do.
Dave and Jason versus Nerf.
But we won't do that now.
We won't do that now. We won't do that next week.
So next week, let's just look at some fandoms. You want to do something 80s?
Something 80s.
Do something 80s. I like it. All right.
I think we should just do the 80s.
Just the 80s.
Let's just do Dave and Jason versus the
80s. Ooh, so we could do kind of like
our favorite movies, our favorite songs, our favorite bands, our favorite foods.
Kind of like our own version of I Love the 80s.
It is exactly going to be Dave and Jason's version of I Love the 80s. Thank you, VH1, for forming me as a child. I love the 80s. I love the 80s part... No, it was I love the 80s part 2. I love the 80s 3D. Mm-hmm. Then there was I love the 90s.
Yes.
I love the 90s 2, I think. Mm-hmm. And then there was I love the 70s. I love the 70s 2. I watched every single one of them over and over and over again.
Because when you get back into the I love the 60s, I think everybody's just getting old.
It was tough because there was a lot of like Burt Reynolds was doing those, and like,
he's kind of really old now.
Exactly. So it was kind of hard. But yeah, I love the... We will be doing our version.
Yes.
Dave and Jason versus the 80s.
Yes.
I mean, unless you can think of anything.
I'm cool with that. Because I mean, we can cover movies, we can cover music.
I just don't think we could do a whole episode on Transformers. Or, I mean, we could.
We could. I mean, come on.
But it would be very specific and probably boring to 90% of the fans.
Yeah. As
opposed to the 10% that would be like, yes, I remember seeing that movie. Dare to be stupid. Dare to be stupid. Like, that was that song. All right. So we'll do the 80s next week.
Yeah.
I was born then in the 80s. He was born in the 80s. So we are products of the 80s.
Yep. Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Thanks, Mom and Dad. Well, we talked about New Coke earlier today. That's a perfect...
Yeah. And we can also talk about Coke, because apparently that was the other Coke, because that was a big deal in the 80s.
New Coke?
Well, not
regular Coke.
I'm talking cocaine.
Oh, yes.
I watched Cocaine Cowboys on Netflix. Check it out. It's crazy crap.
I will... That's your homework. I haven't watched that yet, so I'm going to watch that between now and next time we do the show. Probably next Monday or Tuesday we try and get them out. Don't forget, we'll be here. Ustream. Tell your friends about it. Dave and Jason versus @gmail.com. Send us emails, questions, thoughts on the 80s. If you loved something in the 80s immensely and you want us to talk about it, we'll mention you by name as well in there. So yeah, stay tuned on Ustream, stay tuned on Facebook, and we will catch you guys in the past.
Well, say it again.
We're going. We don't need roads.
I like it. All right, let's try it again. Ready?
Okay. So check us out, Facebook. I mean, we already, this is live, so it doesn't matter. Check us out on Facebook and the Twitter. And the email is daveandjasonversus @gmail.com. So, until next week, where we're going, we don't need roads.